Hello, so this is Jhajj. He's a student helping me with the Video Legacy project, and we're going to talk about the current status of that project. It's really reached quite an interesting stage in just the past few days. And I don't know if you ever thought about celebrating darkness. You know, there's all this stuff about celebrating the light, looking for the light and stuff. But it turns out that with like recordable media like this stuff that these tapes are on, the big threat is to have a disc and have light shining on it. Because within about 10 years, the stuff on that disc completely disappears. And my partner in the Video Legacy project, Dr. Stuart Cameron, had often talked about fugitive media. In other words, media that you think you have captured on a disc or a tape, and it actually is disappearing. But the exciting thing in the past few days is there's not a single tape or disc that we had that wasn't readable, even though they go back to the early 1990s. So we were able to basically make recordings to turn the existing tapes and discs into video files that we could upload to YouTube, and it worked just fine in every case. There wasn't a single case where these old tapes or old discs didn't work. And the reason was they were kept in the dark, not absolute darkness, but I mean they were stacked up so that there was very little light getting into them over this period of time. So, part of the audience here would be interested in the kidney pathology part of these tapes. And that's quite an interesting story in itself. So we have 6 interviewees who were actually kidney pathologists. Giuseppe Andrus, Jacob Churg, Robert Heptonstall, Conrad Pirani, Ruth Osterby, and Klaus Brunn. But in addition to those 6 pathologists who are in this series, we have 4 clinicians, kidney physicians, kidney disease physicians who were mainly interested in kidney biopsy research. So Mark Yukas, Robert Kirk, Gabriel Riche, and Hugh DeWardner. You may know that Hugh DeWardner did the first kidney biopsy in the UK. So what we have now is a collection on YouTube in that playlist from the Video Legacy. We have, as of right now, 18 videos there from 15 people, and there'll be a 19th video, which is this video that Gagan and I are shooting right now, and then in about a week or two we'll have the videos from this stack of tapes we have here added to it, and it contains some pretty interesting things. So the existing videos contain a tribute night, a very entertaining tribute night for Barry Brenner, but the actual Video Legacy tapes, which are here, will also be putting up. So in addition to that, tribute night will have his Video Legacy. We have the interview with George Schreiner, and then Mark Yukas, who was the clinician that Robert Heptonstall worked with, and then some of these actually have letters with them, like this one is from Charles von Ypersale and contains a very nice handwritten letter about the tape and everything. So it's a lot of rich history. So the peak activity of Video Legacy was 1994 to 2004, but the whole period was 1990 to 2007. And let's just talk about what then happened. So Stuart, Cameron, and I put together this series of 45 interviews. And in 2007, the ISN picked 3 of them. And for a while, you could get the transcripts and the video from those 3, which included George Schreiner, on the ISN website. However, in 2011, they reformatted the website and the video stopped working. So you could still get the transcript from those 3, but not the videos. So for the past 7 years, the videos, these wonderful videos, have been basically inaccessible to most people. And not only that, but most people didn't even know that they existed or that this series existed. So it's quite exciting to bring this back to life. And one of the things to ask, I probably am involved in a fair number of controversial activities, and is this one of them? Like, is this a really controversial activity? I don't think so. This may be like the first time that I've been heavily involved in something that it is not controversial at all, because if you think about time and money, there's been a lot of time and money invested in this project. Stuart, Cameron, and I worked on it for 17 years, and about 150,000 US has actually been put into the project, usually paying the local people who shot the video and edited it and so on. So our costs per year there were about $10,000 a year, or a little bit less, but the budget for the project during the active part of the project was $10,000 US a year. We had an initial infusion of $30,000 US from the Baxter company, and that was very helpful to us. That occurred in 1994. So when you think about 150,000 US invested and 17 years of my life and Stuart Cameron's life, you can't leave this under a bushel. I mean, you have to show it. So anyway, Gagan, how are you feeling about this? Are you like enthusiastic about working on it?
Yeah, for sure. I just feel like the effort and the work that's done by previous physicians in this area and the effort you put in yourself needs to be shown. It's a piece of history, medical history, and I feel like documenting it and giving public proper access to it is the best way to go about it.
Yeah. So we think this is not a controversial decision at all. Then the other thing is this scholarly activity, or am I getting Gagan into something that's not scholarly at all? I think this is scholarly activity, and I think at least one paper will result from it. And you, the viewers of this video, can help contribute to that by sending us comments. Send us your thoughts. Send us your thoughts about the project overall, or about individual videos that you find interesting. You can send us, suggestions of how you think this should be disseminated, how it should be presented. There are a lot of things that we really haven't completed yet. And you might imagine that Gagan, as the young person here, maybe has some work to do. So what kind of work is he going to be doing? Well, one thing has to do with the closed captions As you know, on YouTube, it's quite easy to get closed captioning. So as you're watching the video, you see the actual words being spoken. Now, in almost every instance, we have an existing written transcript of the interview. So Gagan can go in and correct the closed captions from that existing text. In two of the interviews, the one with John Dirks and with Ruth Osterby, we don't have a transcript. So in those two, Gagan will be doing it from scratch. You can compare the quality of his transcripts to the others, and you know. But anyway, that's an important thing that he will be doing, and gradually you'll be seeing that more and more of the videos in the playlist have closed captioning with accurate written transcript of what's being said. And then writing the paper also becomes an important part of the project. I think putting this in the context of kind of medical history in general, kidney medicine history, kidney transplantation history, what's the impact of celebrating history, what can we learn from history to inform our plans for the future. As you may know, I'm very interested in the future, so you know, I think I can claim that my interest in the future goes farther ahead than these videos go back. But as you know, Homer Smith was born in 1895, so that's kind of where these current videos begin, and the birth date of maybe the oldest person in these videos. But I like to think of it as a kind of balanced approach, trying to really decide what the future of medicine in general, of kidney medicine, transplant medicine will be, but being informed of what the previous history was and how it all began. Now, as I said in the poetry video that's farther down in the playlist, the way this all began, think about boredom. Think about what you do when you're really bored. And you'll find that occasionally good ideas come to you. It's not that you'd ever want to be bored, but anyway. So, Stuart, Cameron, and I were in Kyoto, Japan. We were on a bus between the airport and the hotel. And it was really boring because there were all these noise barriers, so you couldn't see anything. There was the bus and the road and the noise barrier, and that was it. That was the scenery. And so Stuart started talking about how kidney medicine is exactly the right age where the people who started it are still living and alert and able to tell their stories. So we should start capturing that history. And that's exactly what we've done in these tapes. And the funny thing about it is that he was a little bit jet lagged when he was telling me this. It was very impressive conversation, and that I acted on it right away. I started to figure out how we could make this happen and solicit funding for it and all that. But when I came back and told him what I had been doing, he said something very amusing, which was that he identified this as an idea he had, but he had no recollection of the conversation on the bus at all. He didn't remember telling me about it. So he was quite astounded that I set all this stuff in motion based on a conversation that he himself could not actually recall. But anyway, things have gone very well since then, and I hope you enjoy the videos we've already put up. We welcome your suggestions. Now, how can you give those? Well, in whatever way suits you. So my email is kim.solez@ualberta.ca, On the YouTube channel is also a way to comment on the individual YouTube videos there. We're also on Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever your favorite way to communicate, I take part in that kind of communication. You can probably even communicate with Gagan. If you'd rather communicate with him than me, that's fine. But anyway, we look forward to hearing from you. We hope you have enjoyed this explanatory video. And now you're probably thinking, poor Gagan, because Dr. Solez has said everything here and didn't give him a chance to get a word in edgewise. So is there anything else that you would like to say before we end the video?
Nothing really, besides the fact that we're going to work really hard to get all these videos up, and I'm going to make sure the captions are correct, hopefully in the coming weeks, so just stay posted for that.
Okay, great. All right, well, that's our story, and we hope you enjoy the videos, and let us hear from you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.